Welcome back. We are here with what is going to be the last part of this like generational season, whatever you want to call it, of the BridgeSimton challenge. This is the part where we handle the last of our uh, debutantes, gentlemen who have not gotten married, except for Eli, who he's taking a break from relationship stuff right now. So Phoebe and Seth are the last people that have not gotten married. So they're going to come and talk to their parents here, and their parents are going to say, look, there's no one here for you. So what we're going to do is we're going to go visit your mother's homeland, so Juliana. And unfortunately, before they do that, everyone in the house gets sick, and I'm so nervous because I'm like, I have a whole plan for you, and you're just gonna die on me? I don't think so. But yes, so we're gonna roll for them, and luckily, all of them survive. And the only one, so the options for the sickness are if you get a 1, 2, or a 3. I mean, yeah, 1, 2, and 3 are the numbers, but I rolled a d6 and then just made like a 1 also a 4 and a 2 also a 5, so that kind of situation. But so basically, if you get a 1, nothing happens to you. You survive it, you're fine. If you get a 2, you have to have all your traits changed. And because you've like gone mad from the illness. And if you get a 3, you die. So actually, everyone got their traits changed except for Phoebe. So at least they lived, you know. And so we're going to actually take a little vacation to Juliana's homeland, which is going to be in what is modeled after the Ottoman Empire. I saw a lot of really cool CC for this online, so I was just like, you know what, let's do it. Um, there wasn't a ton of CC that wasn't behind a paywall. But I did download some cool things. You'll notice all the guys are actually wearing the same outfit, but what you gonna do? This is only a small part of this. I'm not gonna go out and pay for CC for it. But yes, so here we are, and this is her family house. I was gonna do a stayover or something, but I guess you can only do that for like people staying over at your house, not you staying at other people's houses. But um, maybe you can. I just haven't figured it out. So here we are, and Juliana's family is here. So that is Juliana's mother is right here, and she is an elder, obviously. If Juliana's her child. And Juliana also has a brother that is here. Her father is deceased, and also her brother's wife is deceased because I didn't want to make too many Sims. But she has a brother here, and then her brother has a son. So that is the family that we are visiting right now. We're coming to visit them, and they're all just catching up, and the kids are hanging out with their grandmother. And Juliana's talking to her mother and saying, look, neither of my kids were able to find a match during the social season, so I'm worried about it. And her mother's like, don't worry, I got you. Um, Basically, they are, their family is friendly with a duke's family. Now, of course, the titles are not the same across empires, but I just kind of had to name them the same thing because for like clarity, and also because I was trying to find what different people are called, and different websites gave me different answers, and I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna, call them what they amount to, and we'll do our best here. So we are going to invite over this family, and it is a ducal family, and now she would love for her grandson to marry into that family, but unfortunately, if you'll remember, Juliana's family does not hold a title, so that is why, uh, her nephew might not be as suited for like a duke's daughter. But since Roger is now a baron, at least they hold a title, and they would feel better about all of that. So that's the cousin right there. And then this is the duke's daughter here. Um, Her name is Gamze. Gamze? I'm not really sure. Why do I keep naming Sims things I can't pronounce? I was trying so hard not to do that with some Sims, and then I was like, oh, that name is cool. I'm going to pick that one. So anyway, Seth is talking to her. He doesn't have a great first impression of her, but she has a good first impression of him. I downloaded these houses from the gallery, so there are some modern components. I didn't really feel like doing too much to them because we're just staying here for like a day. But that is her, and she has her father's a duke, and she has a stepmother. So that's her stepmother with the blonde hair there. She is a bit younger than the duke, and she was formerly a worker at a brothel, but the Duke became smitten and made her a lady, and it has caused a lot of strife for their family, for the women in their family, in society, because obviously, people look down on her, and then therefore they're kind of looking down on the Duke a bit for choosing her, and it's just embarrassing for Gamze and all of that. So that's what's going on here. Seth is just talking to the ladies and the family. Of course, they're being chaperoned while he's chatting. That's the Duke behind him right now. So they're just chit-chatting, and he's getting to know her a little bit better. He promises to take her out on a date to see how it goes. And that is what's going on here. Also, that's their cousin is just chatting with her a little bit too. Maybe he's hoping to make a move. Who knows? So there's that, and everybody else is just chatting. And then the Duke is telling them, there's actually a masquerade ball while you're visiting here, so you should definitely come to it. And maybe, Phoebe could find someone as well. So that's what they're talking about. That person sitting next to Phoebe is her uncle there. But yes, so there's a masquerade ball, and they are hoping to go and see if they can't find a match for Phoebe as well. So that's what everyone's talking about, going to the ball. Grandma says she'll take the kids out to get outfits to wear, to blend in, and that it'll be great. So they're all very excited about this. The Roger and Juliana are feeling very hopeful about their children's prospects. They really want to make it work. So it's now the next morning, and Seth is going to take Gamze to the restaurant, the only community lot I placed down in this world. And um, he's going to take her there, and they are going to request a table and see if they can't make a connection of some sort. And of course, all the parents have come to chaperone. Here we go. Okay. So they are going to make some small talk, and he's going to ask her, how things are. She is actually the only child of the Duke, so she will be getting his whole estate. She will not be inheriting the title, obviously, but she will be getting his estate. And so she's a pretty good match for anyone. And they are just chit-chatting, but he thinks she's kind of stuck up. She probably looks down on him because he's not noble blood, like his family was granted the title. So they're just going to have drinks together and chit chat. He's not really getting like a super close vibe, but he's also feeling like he could make it work, Like he's like, I could marry her. We're not in love or anything, but who is these days? Well, sorry, Seth, literally everybody else. But so we are going to host a ball. Really, the royal family is hosting the masquerade ball, but I can't have someone else host the ball. That's not my household. So we're going to host it, but pretend that the royal family is hosting it. So they are hosting the masquerade ball. I got to get everyone in their outfits because, of course, no one wants to wear the outfits that I made for them for this occasion. But yes, they all have masks. I got the masks from the Secret Society collection, which is super fun and has some really cool outfits for it. And I just really wish I had a reason to use them. But I made one. So, and also, it's Bridgerton, right? And I really wanted to, there is a masquerade ball in the books. So I was like, oh, we should do that too. So if you've read Benedict's book, this is a little bit modeled after that. Anyway, so we are just changing everybody into their cool outfits. Look at these beautiful, beautiful outfits. And so I'm just going to stop. So I have the preteen mod installed, but these people aren't supposed to be preteens. They're just, I just made them and they defaulted to 0 days. So anyway, then my game crashed. I guess crashed isn't the right word. It's more like a pop-up was supposed to come up, but then it didn't come up. So I was able to save and quit, but the pop-up just, I don't know, wasn't happening. There's another bug later that I have a problem with. It's probably from mod conflicts, um, from the horse patch and everything. That's just happened recently for me, and I replaced 2 of my mods, but oh well. So, yeah, neither of you are wearing the outfits that I wanted you to wear, thanks. But yes, so he is going to dance with her. I mean, look at her. She's gorgeous. You could make it happen, Seth. But he's not super feeling the vibe. Okay, you guys also need to change your outfits, thanks, because I am going to use some of you. So we are going to have Seth dancing, and then Phoebe is just going to take a break in the kitchen there. She just needs, like, she's just getting a drink or whatever. Also, I'm trying to light this lot up a little bit. You know me, I can never see anything. I don't know if it's just me. Like, is all the lots really dark for anybody else? Maybe I just don't have very good eyesight. Okay, so Seth is actually going to also take a break, and he is going to come and take a break in this like little lounge area. And he, runs into the Duchess while he's there, but just kind of, says hello and moves on from her. And then he meets this lovely girl in this beautiful dress. And he, is talking to her, and she's a little standoffish at first, but he thinks she's really interesting. His first impression of her is that she's an interesting sim. And so they're just chatting, and meanwhile, Phoebe is also chatting with someone, but yes, he is going to have a dance with this lady over here, and she is actually someone he like feels a really good connection with. Like they became friends very quickly, and he is in a flirty mood, and just all of that. And I'm actually modeled her after a character in a comic that I read. The villainess reverses the hourglass. So she is modeled after the main character in that comic. But yes, so they are dancing, and he's just feeling really good about it. She kind of is a little wary of him to start with, but he starts flirting, and it goes really well. He gives her a rose, and she's just like really smitten, and it's going really well. And he's like, wait a second, maybe this is much better for me because I want to be with someone that I feel a genuine, real connection to. And so they're just gonna maybe get a little flirty flirt. Meanwhile, Phoebe was also chatting with a masked man who she thought could be, a good match for her. They got along really well. It didn't get flirty or anything, but they just got along really well. So she's hoping that maybe he calls her in the future. But yes, Seth is making quick work of this relationship over here. And they are just really hitting it off. I like this. So he's just like, whispering in her ear and is like, wow, like you're so interesting, you're so wonderful, like tell me more about you. And she's just kind of like, oh, and just kind of being a little um, hesitant in her responses. And so we are just going to have them cloud gaze, and then they're cloud gazing. Everybody's trying to get their friendship up right now. So there's that. And that is where the ball is going to wrap up. So in this ball, we had both Phoebe and Seth meet mysterious strangers where they are hoping to meet them again. And, so Seth says to this mystery woman, he's like, hey, meet me tomorrow or whatever, and we can get to know each other better. Also, there was a fire, and the Sultan got lit on fire, and I was like, oh my gosh, is he gonna die right now? Seriously, do not die. Do not be on fire. these Sims. So I had to add him to my family so I could put him out. But anyway, the ball is over. We're gonna put the fire out and go home. And by home, I mean back to Juliana's family's house. So here we are. And Seth and Phoebe are going to actually chat with each other and talk to each other about their nights. Like, they just got back from the ball and they're really excited about it. And Seth is like, I met this amazing woman and I'm going to see her later. And Phoebe is like, oh, yeah, like I met someone too. I'm hoping that it goes somewhere. But Seth is like, I'm going to marry her. Like, it's happening. I asked her if she wanted to let me court her and she said yes. And Phoebe's like, well, what about, you know, the match that our family has made for you? And then grandma comes in and Seth is just kind of like, mm. So anyway, she leaves and then Seth is talking to Phoebe and he says, I just really think that this woman is the one for me. Everyone talks about meeting your match, and I never really felt that way. All of the women in our kingdom, I just never really had this strong connection to. I was just kind of meh about everyone, and I thought that that's just the way it was, that I was always going to feel this kind of, um, not strong feeling towards anyone, that it was just going to be, you know, that, how do I explain? like eh. So he basically says that and he's like, I didn't know it could feel this way, and now that I do, I want to pursue it. I know I went around in a really big circle there because I can't think of the right word. Like blah, meh, average, I don't know. Anyway, so Phoebe is invited out by her mysterious stranger, and so she meets him, and he actually introduces himself as the second prince of the empire, and she's like, whoa. So he is Prince Mazhar, and he is really enjoying her company, and he's talking to her, and um, he tells her that he's a bit of a rake, right? He doesn't have a great reputation in the kingdom. He's getting older and does not have a betrothed. Everyone that his mother pitched for him did not work out. And so he's just talking to Phoebe and he said, no one believes that I can put that behind me and, put my old days away. But I think that maybe meeting you, starting fresh with someone who doesn't have those preconceived notions about me, and that maybe we can make this work. And Phoebe is really excited because she is totally like a Daphne and she wants to find her soulmate, and she, um, believes that love can conquer all and all of that. So she is just talking, they're flirting, they're getting to know each other. And he's like, you know what? I really want to court you. I really want to, um, I want to be with you. Can we introduce our families to each other and get this process going? So also I wanted to try this animation. It's like you drop your handkerchief and then the man bends down to pick it up. I thought that was cute. I downloaded a new version of Regency Romance, and there are a lot of new cute things in it. Would recommend updating that mod if you have it. But anyway, so we're going to head to the royal palace because Phoebe and her family are going to meet the royal family. So we're here, and we're going to all sit together. Come now. So you can see there in the bluish purple color, that's the crown prince. In the bluish purple color, that's his wife, the crown princess. The sultan is in red, and here is the sultana standing up here. And so Mazhar comes here, and he tells his mother and father and brother and sister, and that's his nephew right there, the future sultan after his brother. And so he's just telling his mother, this is Phoebe. She's from, England or whatever, Windenburg. And so the sultana is not happy. She's like, I picked so many ladies for you, and this is what you bring me home? Some foreign girl who doesn't know anything about our culture. And he's like, well, she is half from our culture. And so the sultana is not happy. She's very headstrong and stubborn, and she does not really like the idea that he picked someone for himself. Like, she picked so many options for him, and he did not take a single one of them. Um, so she is kind of aggressive towards Phoebe. She's like, do you think you can make my son happy? Can the mere daughter of a baron become a princess? And just all of this stuff. And so the crown prince here kind of gets involved. And he's like, Mom. um, and so she's like, Mazar, is this really what you want? She really what you want? And he's like, she is, Mom. Like, we get along really well, and doesn't judge me, and she sees the real me and all of that stuff. And so Phoebe is not happy with the way that this has all gone. She didn't think she was coming here to be humiliated. But basically, the crown prince had said to his mother, don't you want him to get married? So she's like, fine. And so he proposes to Phoebe. Basically, the Sultana is like, well, he hasn't gotten married yet. He's getting older. I want him to get married. And so um, she begrudgingly agrees to the match because she thinks that maybe her son won't get one otherwise, but she is also mad about it. It's like there's two feelings that she has. She's mad that none of the people she chose were picked, but she's also glad that he's getting married, if that makes sense. So everyone's going to come home and talk about what's just happened, and Phoebe is very excited that she's now engaged to a prince. And her mother's so happy, her father's so happy. Roger's like, ha, suck it, Francis. um, so they are very happy that their daughter is going to be um, a princess. And it's, a great honor, and it's a great status boost for them, at least in this empire. And um, it also opens up a world of possibilities for us. Like, if we're going to sponsor Sims and stuff, that's one of the drama rules. Like, we can sponsor a Sim. So it would be interesting if, like, maybe a Sim from this empire or Juliana's family or even Phoebe's family in the future would come and visit Windenburg. And, um, you know, we could sponsor them into our society or whatever. We'll see. Honestly, I am going to keep Phoebe in the rotation. So I also was thinking, like, that's a little. We're just gonna, each generation, we're just gonna get more and more households, aren't we? But yes, so um, we are going to keep Phoebe in the rotation. So there's going to be an extra household in the rotation where we follow Phoebe and her family and her life as a princess. So they probably won't have the same social season stuff as we do, but we will be doing marriages and stuff here as well. Just going to keep adding kingdoms. So there we go. They are going to give each other a hug, and he tried to talk to her about marriage, and then she says to him, look, there's something I have to tell you. And so actually, she is the stepsister of Gamze. So she is her stepsister, and she says, my mother worked in the brothel, and I was born to some guy we don't even know. And when my mother married the Duke, he took me in, but he doesn't think of me as a daughter. I'm probably not going to get a very good dowry, and I don't have any noble blood or anything. I just, lucked into this situation where I could be among the nobility. And he's like, you know what? I don't have noble blood either. My father was granted a title. Um, so he's talking to her, and he is basically just saying, that doesn't matter to me, because what it used to only matter the status of the bride, but he has come to realize that there's more than that. There's actually love too. So he's going to talk to his family and her family and basically say, look, I I'm in love with your daughter. Her name is Kaylin. And so he is talking to them all and saying, I'm in love with Kaylin, and I want to marry her instead. And of course, the Duke is not happy about this. He's like, excuse me, you're turning down my noble blood, wonderful, raised correctly daughter for the daughter who grew up in a brothel for part of her life. And he's like, yeah. And of course, Roger and Juliana are like, no, 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 no. And of course, Juliana's family is so mad. And so he grabs Kaylin and he kisses her in front of everyone. And like the Duke is horrified. Gamza is like, ugh. Phoebe is like, woo. And so he kisses her in front of everybody. And he's like, there, now we have to get married. And so, oh my gosh. Then she proposes to him. So now they have to get married because they kissed in front of everyone. And of course, all of the families are very angry because, these are families that are friends as well, Juliana's family and the Duke's family. And so that is not really good for that relationship that they bypassed, the official daughter and everything. And so um, Grandma's like, great, now I got to do damage control. So Grandma is basically like, well, there is still my other grandson that could marry your daughter. So they are going to pair together Seth and Phoebe's cousin with Gamza. So that is what's going on there. They are going to smooth things over by doing that. And like Seth is feeling super impulsive and super happy. And like Seth has always been kind of a no nonsense guy, very like stern and almost like emotionless towards other people. Like he always had like a good relationship with his family as like joking and having fun, but like to this outside world, he wasn't really like that. And he never really like connected with any of the other ladies that were um, in our kingdom. So the fact that he just all of a sudden is filled with this passion and this fire is just like something that, Phoebe loves to see, and his mother is happy and his father is not as happy, but, the wound is kind of mitigated by the fact that Phoebe is going to be a princess. Anyway, my game now is crashing again because, as you can see, even though I clicked pause, they're all still moving. And even though I'm saving, they're all still moving. So actually, it's stuck like this, and it is not moving. Like, the game is stuck. I can't click on anything. I can't do anything. And I did lose some save progress in this one. Anyway, so after everyone leaves, Phoebe and Seth are just chit-chatting, and Phoebe's like, I can't believe you did that. And Seth is like, you know what, you were right about romance and love, and I just gotta go for it. And so he's actually really excited, and he hasn't really ever felt this way. So it's good for the both of them. So now that it is getting to be Friday, which I know that this is all going really fast, but like keep in mind we only have a week to do all of this. So now that it is Friday morning, we are going to have Phoebe's wedding. So let's call, and then we'll send Seth and everybody else back to our kingdom for his wedding. So um, here we go, and I am going to just choose a few different things for Phoebe's wedding to the prince. And we're going to head out to a wedding venue that I placed here. Everything was in the gallery. I typed in the word uh, Moroccan, I think. Yeah. So, again, loosely based off the Ottoman Empire. There was some desert in there, but there was also a lot of other things. And I just, I'm just doing my best with what is available to me in the game. I'm not pretending to be historically accurate, especially since we're not changing time periods ever in this. So, here we go. Everyone is gathering around, and that's the wrong way down the aisle, but that's okay. So let's have Phoebe and Roger walk up the aisle together. Oh, look at how he's so happy. Look at him. She's so happy. They are so happy. So let's get our wedding going. You can do it. If everyone could please go sit down, and then you can get up. No, you don't have to sit down. Why is this pack so buggy? I mean, it's much better than it was. Okay, both of you go up there and get married. All right, very nice. So they're getting married, and it's super sweet. And they're saying their vows, and they are both, oh, Grandma, look how happy Grandma is. She's like, yeah. I mean, this is really good for her family, having a granddaughter that is a princess, except Grandma just wet herself at the wedding. Oh, they bonked heads when they tried to kiss. Oh. Okay. So this is the wedding. It's a very sweet affair. Everybody is having a good time. My game just did the exact same thing where it freezes like that. So this is just great. I hate that for me. I don't know why this kept happening, but I think this is the last time it happened. I don't know what was causing it. Honestly, it's probably a mod conflict, but I don't know. So this is the last time it happened, so we're just going to accept it. And pretend that the wedding was great, the reception was a rager. I'm not doing this again. So um, we will have, we'll move on to having Phoebe get settled into her new home. So here we are, we're sending her out, and we're also going to send the prince out into their own household because he is being gifted a palace of his own now that he is married. So we're going to go over here, and I also got that from the gallery, and I really thought it was furnished, but it's not. Okay, so I'm just going to change all of her clothes. We're going to change her name, and I was trying to figure out what outfit to give her. That one seems nice. So that's what we're going with. I have so much CC, geez. But yes, so Phoebe is now part of the Arslan royal family. She is married to the second prince. So if both his brother and his nephew die, then um, he will become the next in line for Sultan. Although that's not going to happen because we're not playing that family, so we're not rolling for their deaths. And I added their family tree in here. I thought it would be nice. There we go. And they have rolled actually to have 5 children. 5 children, which is probably for the best because the rolls aren't that kind. Um, Here he is. We're going to add them to his family tree. There we go. Look at that handsome man. He is so handsome. Okay, so there is that family. And I'm just going to link it to our other family tree where we have the Templeton household. So, yeah, don't worry about the family tree stuff. I'm going to um, I'm going to give you a recap in the next video probably. Just pretend that that picture looks right. It does that sometimes. Okay, so there's no furniture here. So I'm going to need to at least place down a bed so they can get to woohooing. Figure this will be the master suite over here. I'm just making that up though. I don't know for sure. I don't know what the plan was for this build, but it's really nice. It's beautiful. Okay, so let's just get that going. Let's get them trying for a baby. All right, there she is. She's gorgeous. She's beauty. She's grace. And there we go, Princess Phoebe. I'm so happy that things worked out for her. I was so sad that she was kind of passed over by everyone during the social season. Like, she is a lovely girl and she deserves true love and all of that. So um, it was sad that she didn't get anyone, but you know what? Now she does. So let's move Kaylin into the into our other household. Of course, they're not sleeping in the same room until um, they're married, but we'll have their wedding today. So here we are. She is now here. Roger is not super happy about the situation, but he is happy that his son is getting married. That's all that counts in the end. You know, I think that a lot of these parents have these high hopes for their children, and they have, you know, these high aspirations. But when it comes down to it, whether if they're not going to get married at all versus get married to someone less desirable, well, it's just going to work. So they did get a dowry equivalent to the dowry that they gave Phoebe. Luckily, Phoebe didn't have to pay too much because they really couldn't afford it, and there was no estate to give Phoebe. But the prince has his own full estate and everything. You know, he's the second prince of the empire. Obviously, his family has a lot of money, so he inherited an estate from his parents. Okay, so here we go. They are just so happy to be getting married. Kaylin never thought that she was going to, be able to marry a respectable man because of her background and all of that. So everything is going really well here. And that is where we're going to wrap up with this wedding. And they are going to have 3 children if they survive, right? But this is where we're going to wrap up, and I just want to say, oh, okay, Madeline is having our baby, is having the future king. We got to roll for this. Okay. All right, they both survived. We're good. We're good. And he's going to be Arthur the second. Excellent. And that was the only baby that they could have. So actually, it's the same situation we started with in the royal family. But anyway, so um what was I saying? Yes, this is where we're going to wrap up. I hope that you enjoyed this challenge so far. I was really thinking, because honestly, like, the Honeyfields were one of my least favorite households to play, and I think that that's because we weren't doing all of the romance and social season stuff. So I think that the way that I'm going to play this challenge is I am going to go on short lifespan in between social seasons, or like in between generational seasons. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have everyone have their babies so that the babies aren't too far apart in age, and then go on short lifespan and get to when the next generation is entering the dating market, the marriage market. And then we're going to play with a whole new set of Sims where we're trying to get them married again. So, like, the romance part is the part I'm interested in this challenge. Of course, you don't have to play it that way, but I am going to do drama rolls. I'll, like, play one day in each household and do a drama roll for them. And so there will be drama in between. So in the next video, what I'm going to do is recap what happened in this, and then also tell you what has happened during the short lifespan part. And then that'll kind of be the end of, season 1, quote unquote. And so after that, maybe I'll take a break, maybe I won't, I'm not really sure yet, but then we will have like a video introducing the eligible lords and ladies of the next generation. And then we'll start working on them and their relationships and everything. So that is what I'm planning on doing. I don't know yet how it's going to work out exactly, but that is just kind of the way that I feel like I want to play is with the romance, with the storytelling of the love stories. So that's what we're going to go with. And I hope that you enjoyed this first part, and I hope that you're looking forward to the next part, because I already started playing on the short lifespan and so many Sims die. Anyway, so I hope that you're excited, and I'll catch you in the next one.